What is up, guys? Welcome back to the 40K Cafe, and thank you, Lumen, for the request. If my voice sounds weird, it's because I've currently been infected by one of Nurgle's many plagues, but let's get into this. You want to hear about the Krorks and the possibility of them coming back. And for those of you who don't know, the Krorks are the ancient ancestors and the not-so-de-evolved versions of the Orks. They were there during the moments of the War in Heaven, standing incredibly tall, hulkish, brutish fiends, and actually had a better understanding and mastery of their own psychic potentials. But as time went on after the War in Heaven and their uses were outserved, they would eventually devolve into what we see now as the Orks. So by the time that the Imperium had manifested, the Krorks were pretty much already extinct. And I say pretty much because I can think of 3 instances to which they may be around, but one for certain. One, right off the bat, we know is alive and in containment by Trazen the Infinite. He has a fully functioning Krork in stasis and in one of his many vaults, but that is really all that we know about it. The second moment in more modern lore isn't so modern, it actually takes place at the early days of the Great Crusade when the Emperor and Horus fought on Ullanor. The war raging against the Greenskin, there is a very brief moment in the lore that talks about the type of Greenskins that they were waging against. And it's never said for certain, so this is purely speculation, but the orc to which the Emperor and Horus fight is said to be larger than anything else. Its strength gave the both of them a run for their money, was something that Horus had never seen before, and in the moments of the description, it was said that the Emperor himself was even struggling with it. But again, we can't say for certain if this was a Krork or not. And lastly, the third most recent lore event that I can personally think of referencing the Krorks is the War of the Beast. Amidst this time period, the Orcs were amassing a Waaagh that would threaten all of the Imperium. And these events would have Vulcan come out from his hiding in order to take on this so-called beast. This leader of the Orcs was once again described to be larger than life, grander than any of the Orcs combined, and was a foe truly to be reckoned with that it needed one of the Emperor's sons, much less none other than one of the sons that couldn't be unalived. Again, it is never said for certain whether or not this character was a Krork, but what we do know is that amidst this same exact time period and events, the Eldar were referencing the Orcs as behaving and acting like those of their ancient ancestors, possibly re-evolving into what was once those great Krorks. But the Orcs were stopped long before any more progression could have ever happened. What I gather from these two events is that should an Orc end up gathering enough orky energy, and should an Orc grow large enough after so many victories, then maybe it is possible for them to once again become a Krork. As we know, for the most part, the stronger an Orc gets, the larger they become. And the more Orcs in one area, the stronger their psychic presence and their psychic abilities. With this and the reputation of Ghazghkull Thraka becoming stronger and better, not to mention his Waaagh exponentially growing, I could see him and or at least his Waaagh becoming a candidate for producing a Krork, but that is just a theory and a possibility. For all we know, it may not even be truly possible for an Orc to become a Krork once again, at least not in the same exact way as they once were. But very little is known about Krorks in general. But that could be a topic for another day. Lumen, I hope this helped answer your question. Thanks again, guys, for listening and for the request. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Drop a comment if there's anything you want to hear about next. And as always, remember to follow for more.